Ideal Protein is a doctor-designed, coach-led ketogenic weight loss protocol that uses food as medicine to empower you to lose weight and live your healthiest life.
And welcome back to the Livingston Parish News Weekly Show, a podcast brought to you by the Livingston Parish News. My name is McHugh David, publisher and editor of the news, and I am joined by a guest that I think I've had on more in the last 90 days than I have since I've started doing this podcast. You've had a lot going on. We had Ida the first time, and this time we're going to be talking about something I think that's kind of near and dear to your heart.
Yes.
You and your wife run it. But first, please go ahead and introduce yourself this morning.
Sheriff Jason Ard, Livingston Parish. It's always good to be here.
Yes, sir. We're happy to have you. And today you're talking about the Christmas Crusade. It is that time of year.
It is.
With the weather, it's hard to believe that, with it being nice and warm outside.
Right.
But here on this Thursday morning, it is rather nasty. I think it's bringing in the wintry weather. So first and foremost, I want to give you 4 minutes. Tell us a little bit about what the Christmas Crusade is, and give us an update on dates, times, donation locations, that kind of thing.
Okay, so this is the time of the year again, and this has been going on for a little over 30 years. This was started actually under the Odom Graves administration, carried on by Sheriff Woodard Graves, and then carried on by myself. As a deputy, we was introduced to this program. It's great. It's, like I said, it's been around a long time. And this is an opportunity for us to give back to our community. We focus on the less fortunate children in the Livingston Parish area. And this is strictly for Livingston Parish. These deputies actually volunteer. You'll start seeing us the Saturday after Thanksgiving. We'll be at all 3 Walmart locations as well as Bass Pro. Then following that on a Monday, and I'll get to the dates in just a minute, you'll actually start, we'll be taking applications. Those go on for about 2 weeks, excluding the weekends. But they'll take the applications, and then we'll actually start bagging and toys, and the delivery date this year is going to be December the 17th. I always like to remind people, when you see the deputies out in front of the Walmart locations or the Bass Pro, those deputies are on their own time. They're not doing this and getting paid to do this. They do this because they want to be involved. They want to help their community, and they see on a first-hand basis, unfortunately, some of the needs that are out in this parish. They see it all the time. And a lot of times when we do our work and we go to these homes, we don't usually bring good news. You know, we don't knock on the door with a check from Publishers Clearinghouse, unfortunately. It's usually something bad. So this is an opportunity for us to knock on the door with really good news. It's something that we can do to help people. These businesses and residents have gotten behind this program for years, and that's why it's such a success. But the dates, real quick, I'm gonna have to read them off, so I don't make them. I don't want to mess them up. But November the 29th through December the 1st is when we'll actually start collecting the toys at the 4 locations. It also go between December the 10th. And then the times will be 8:30 a.m. to 12 p.m., 1 o'clock p.m. to 3:30 p.m. each day. And I'm going to correct that. So November 29th through December 3rd is when they'll actually start taking applications.
Okay.
And we also will be taking applications from December the 6th through December the 10th. And those times, again, are 8:30 a.m. to 12 p.m., and then 1 p.m. to 3:30 p.m. each day. Look, they can go to our website, lpso.org, to get this information, to get this printout, so don't mess it up. And we'll be at the same location we're always at, which is the Woodside Landfill. And that address is 29225 Woodside Landfill, right there in Walker. It sits right beside the landfill. Can't miss it. Big mountain. When you go down the road, you feel like you're in Gatlinburg.
Right. Good old Mount Walker.
Right. So anyway, the toy delivery date again is December the 17th. That's when all the deputies come together throughout the parish. And we have a few other agencies sometimes that'll help us. We welcome their spouses, the kids, and it's just a big, huge LPSO family event. These cars are lined up for almost a mile, and we put these toys in these units, and they go out throughout the parish. And our numbers has been a little different. I can go ahead and get into that a little bit.
Sure.
In 2016, after the flood, our numbers actually dropped a little bit. But before that, we averaged around 1,200. The reason the numbers dropped is because so many people moved away.
Sure.
Remember, they didn't really live here. They were trying to, some stay, but a lot of them had to live in other locations. Now, that's what we thinking is the issue. Since 2016, we have noticed a increase in families as well as numbers of kids. So the increases went from a little over 1,200 to now let's move forward to 2020. The numbers were a little over 1,500.
Okay.
So that's with the kids, and then you have the families were a little over 500. Now they're a little over 700, and that's 2020 stats. So we're looking this year because of Ida, some other things going on. We've had a very difficult 2 years. Our numbers are probably going to get even higher.
Sure.
So that's always a little bit of a stress factor.
Sure. I would imagine so. I want to go back for a second and stress one of the things that you brought up, because there's always those people that want to talk about it, but these deputies are doing this as a community service on their own time, correct?
Right, they are.
So this is kind of your community service gathering, and I want to approach it from several different angles. But first, and she might get mad at me, but I want to go ahead and bring it out. Your wife is referred to as Mrs.
Yes.
Claus.
She is.
She kind of she's the glue that I don't want to say keeps it together. It is a long-standing program, but has advanced it, I guess you could say, in a lot of ways. So I wanted to talk to you about the fact that, as you said, as a deputy, you were introduced to this program. What was it like to step into the sheriff's office and sort of be the leader of this program, but also how was Erica sort of involved, or did you kind of say, hey, I need your help?
So actually, Willie brought Erica in years ago. So she had been running the program with Miss Elaine for probably close to 10, 15 years.
Okay.
So as soon as she came to work at the sheriff's office, she started getting involved with this program. I, at the time, was a training officer located at the training center. So if you work at our training center, you're going to be a part of this Christmas Crusade. I had to pick up the toys, and it wasn't a have to, it was just what you did. But I picked up the toys. I closed at that time, we only had 2 locations, which was the Walker Walmart and the Dillon Springs Walmart. But I made sure that I had to open them every morning, close them every evening. That's actually setting up tents, making sure we everything collected. We as well as stocking the shelves, picking up toys when they did the toy shopping. So it has grown tremendously. So Erica's been doing this for a long time. And by the way, she's the prettiest Mrs. Claus I've ever seen. And but she actually she knows this back and forth. She looks forward to it every year. This is something that's not a 4 or 5 week deal. This is something that is a year-round program and has actually grown tremendously. So she actually came in when, like I said, a long time ago when it was actually growing, and it's continued to grow. And so this is just so people know the I guess the back what goes on behind the scenes. So starting early on, usually in August, is when shopping starts happening, online stuff. We try to do as much spending as we can inside the parish, but it's gotten so big, sometimes it's difficult to do that. And I know I've been with her, and you have people coming in shopping, and we're walking out with buggies, and it's like, there's nothing left.
Right, right.
We're shopping for 1,200 kids, so there's a lot of toys that leave with us.
Sure.
So, but we work with these local Walmart and Bass Pro, and they'll order stuff for us, pre-order. So a lot of that goes in to think about that. She also has to do a little research. So if you ask me today what a 7-year-old little girl wants for Christmas, I'm probably not know. I don't have a 7-year-old at home, but we have plenty of deputies that do. We have friends that do. So she does her research to make sure that we know what the hot item is, because we don't want the person next door to have this toy playing because this was in, and then these kids playing with wooden toys. We want to try to give them a very Merry Christmas, and in order to do that, we got to make sure we do our due diligence and educate ourselves and make sure we know what they need. So that's very important. And then as she orders, it gets closer. We start getting things prepared. We have meetings. We make sure everybody's on the same page. You have to have deputies that are going to actually close Walmart. Back then, to tell you how much has changed, I was the only guy with 1 or 2 people that helped me that closed and opened all the Walmart locations, which then were 2. Now we have 4 locations, so it's 4 different people with an alternate. And we also have people that sit there like they always have. We have to do a toy pickup. We have people that call throughout this parish. Sometimes we even have people in Baton Rouge and the Hammond area that actually call us and say, hey, we collected toys for y'all. Can y'all come get them? So these guys are going and they're picking up toys, a trailer full. So it's just a nonstop operation. And then you go to the North Pole. We set up tables, we stack them, and it looks like Walmart. We stock them, we organize it up until the day that we actually start bagging the toys, and then that's a whole nother story.
Sure. Yeah, and we're going to get to
Yeah.
that because I want to. So you're the sheriff and your wife, and together y'all lead this deal, and I'm going to talk about it from your perspective in a second. But like you said, then you kind of get up to the time that the donations are happening. You've
Right.
already got deputies helping you, but what sort of effort goes into this? I mean, are there community volunteers, or is it all insulated within the sheriff's department?
It's mostly insulated within the sheriff's department. The volunteers, the help that the community gives us is the monetary donation and the toys. And so I spent a lot of time going to different locations. There's so many people that give, I can't go to every one of them. And I try. Now, there are some that's been doing it for years. And because they've been doing it so long, we make sure we try not to miss those at all. And so it just becomes too busy. And at the same time, during those 2 weeks, we have our DARE graduations. I have to be at all those. So it becomes very busy. So I have to rely on these deputies to help out. And so again, it's just a lot going on. The community gives that way. The deputies are doing all the internal things. They're the one putting this together, pre-planning. Erica's the one with the whip in her hand, making sure everybody's on time. And look, it's not a lot of playtime at all. It's these when they start bagging. Just to let you know, they usually start around 8 in the morning, and they don't finish till 8 at night.
Sure.
I mean, they just nonstop. They eat there. And sometimes they'll go to 10, 11 at night just because they want to get through a certain area just to get it finished.
Sure. So let's talk about that for a second before we get to you. It's, these guys are volunteering their time. They're working through this program to make these deliveries. Let's talk about like a first-year guy going out to do this. Do you see a difference between when he kind of starts in the program and makes those deliveries and when he comes back and you talk to him after he's done it?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. You see a difference. We have a few that'll come up to you and tell you a story. What I really like about this program is the deputies that start learning about the program, the new deputies. The first year, they may be a little shy. The second year, you're going to have one or two of them walk in and say, hey, I was at home last night. I don't know if this family's on the list. I just want to make sure that they were because they're very needy. Looks like a good family. Unfortunately, had to bring, the dad or mom to jail. And so they'll turn the family in. We'll do a follow-up. We'll bag these toys. We'll take care of this family. That same deputy is, I'm telling you, pushing their way through the line to make sure that they get to deliver those toys.
Sure.
So that's what we look for. And then that's what it's about. I mean, to be able to give you an opportunity to give back. Because, look, our community helps us so much. You know this. You cover our crime stories. You've seen it. We rely a lot on our citizens. We're only as good as the information we receive. That's an old saying back when I started in law enforcement, but it's so true, and it's still true today. The community just does so much for us. These deputies, very seldom, probably when they go eat somewhere, is not their tabs not picked up. A pat on the shoulder, a handshake, appreciation. I hear it all the time. These guys, they really love this parish. So this just makes it more personable. So that's the new deputies is the ones you actually try to watch. But you can see they come in a little timid,
Sure.
kind of see the layout, and then the next thing you know, the next year they come in with a Santa Claus hat.
Right.
Maybe the next year they come in with a Santa Claus hat and their wife has a reindeer hat on. So it's just, and they grow into this program.
Sure.
Just like I did when I started. It was, kind of new, didn't really know about it. And then you start realizing, hey, this is a fun opportunity. This is a thank you when you leave. Same people that may have not said thank you a couple of nights ago.
Right.
And, now it's like, hey, we appreciate y'all not bad people. Y'all really trying to help out. You're really reaching out to the community.
Right. So there's also, you talk a lot about sort of these bad circumstances that lead to these families being needy. There are, I heard through Mr. David Gray that there are some success stories. There are families that were once on the list, but have been able to flip the script and are now constant donees.
Yes.
Tell us about how that feels when you see things
Oh, man,
like that.
look, you talk, if you want something to get me emotional, that'll get me emotional because to have somebody bring you a check, and I've had them from anywhere from $100 to well over $1,000 from these people. And I want to make this donation. I want to hand it to you. And I want to tell you and your wife, thank you, because, we couldn't have made it without you. We could not have survived. We wouldn't have had Christmas with our kids. We couldn't have provided it. And, God has blessed me. I'm doing great. My business took off. I got a job. And because y'all did so much for us, we want to help you. We want to help the program. And we know this program works. So all the little bitty, it's not a lot, but the little bitty bad things that may come up, people taking advantage, or you drive up in a driveway and there's a Mercedes sitting there and maybe they don't really need those toys, all that goes away.
Right.
When you have that story, when you have that testimony that comes for you. And that's every single year, and it's usually multiple people every single year. And so that is very heartwarming, and that is actually a boost, a motivator to know, you know what, you're doing the right thing. We got to keep doing this. There's a cause, it's a purpose, and we're gonna keep moving forward.
Well, so, okay, you talked a little bit about yourself and getting emotional. Let's talk about it from the CEO standpoint, I guess you could say, because this is a Herculean effort. As you said, it starts actually almost 4 months before Christmas.
Right.
And it's always something. Like you said, in the middle of delivery, you got to do DARE graduation too.
Right.
So when you're thinking about this program, when we have a couple of pictures of you that David took over the last couple of years, it's time to start deliveries, and it's probably about 6 o'clock in the morning. You're standing there in front of all your deputies. What's going through your head before you've got to motivate these guys? All right, we're going out. We're going to make these deliveries. We're going to make these families. We're going to make their Christmas. What are you thinking?
It's a really relief to get to that day, because it is a lot going on leading up to it. And not only do we have DARE graduation, I also have a lot of parades that I have to try to, you can't make all of them, but you do the best you can to be at certain places. And so I will always look forward to the opportunity to spend time with the deputies. And this is a great opportunity to do that, because everybody's in a room. A lot of them are new always. And so the motivational speech is, look, this is our day to have fun. This is our day to give back to a community that's always so giving to us. And they see that when we have a hurricane, any type of disaster, the people that volunteer to help us, that'll bring out a chainsaw, to bring out their tractor, whatever it needs, they'll give to us. I can call people. I can probably get on a social media site and just say, hey, look, anybody out there who wants to help us, we have this going on. And I'll have tons of people calling in because they want to help this community. So my motivation is to transfer that to these deputies, to say, look, you are cared about, you are loved. And although you may have not felt appreciated, today is your day to feel appreciated, because what you're doing today is something that we do every single year that a lot of people rely on. And I always like to make sure we remind everybody, Christmas morning, December the 25th, when we wake up, us in this room, all these deputies, when we wake up and our kids are having a Merry Christmas, it's just a little bit inside of me that just warms up to know that there's so many other kids and families also having a Merry Christmas. And that's what it's about. So it doesn't matter how much weight I'm going to lose between now and delivery date, how much stress that my wife and I is going to go through. We don't have a lot of time with our family until this is over. But it doesn't matter. Like, we have to Christmas shop beforehand. Our Christmas shopping, it has to be done before Thanksgiving. We have to have Christmas decorations going up. We started putting my tree up 2 nights ago. So we have to do that. A lot of people don't really understand that, or my new neighbors do, because they're seeing my Christmas tree. I mean, what's this guy doing? It's because we are going to get that busy, but it's so worth it when you hand a bag to somebody that needs it.
Right.
And that's what we're doing it for. We're doing it because we can, and it's a need. And because of what the residents and these businesses have done for us, it gives us the ability to fill those bags and fill those needs. So I just try to relay everything I just relayed to you in so many words to those deputies to get them pumped up. And it usually don't take much.
Right.
Because you got guys that have worked all night to get off at 6 a.m. They're first in line, and they're usually the most cheerful.
Sure. They
just ready to go. And some of those will come back. They say, look, we're going to come back and get some more toys. As long as I can get about 6 hours of sleep, I'm good.
Sure.
And so they want to do this. And again, it's just nice to have their families get involved in this as well.
Sure. So sort of the last thing to wrap it up here, that we have talked about the people in need. We've talked about Mrs. Claus and Mr. Claus and sort of y'all's actions within it. The last piece of the puzzle is the community. As of right now, y'all, I don't want to say y'all rely, but a lot of it is community donations, whether monetary or in the form of actual physical gifts. If you had somebody, kind of like you give your deputies a pep talk before y'all go out to do deliveries, if you had somebody from the community that walked up to you and said, shook your hand and said, Sheriff, why should I participate in the Christmas Crusade? Why should I hand you a check for $100? Why should I hand you, a couple of Lego sets to hand out? What do you say to them?
This is a program that is much needed in our parish, and this program gives back to strictly Livingston Parish people. If you want to help your community, if you want to help a family in need, this program is the way to do it. And we are also connected to a lot of other programs. We have Mighty Moms that help teenagers, and we connect to them. If they need help during Christmas time, we help them. We run across kids that need more than toys. We're able to connect that as well. So this program has been proven year after year after year. And so if you want to help somebody that you know that this is going to a good cause and you want to help somebody, this is the program to give to. There's no doubt. And it's just something that, again, has been around for years. And it's just heartwarming. You know what I'm saying? It's just something that is a great opportunity to give back to so many families. And look, I mean, like I told you the numbers earlier, we're not talking about, 12 to 100 families. We're talking about over 700 families, 15 to 1,600 kids, which the most we've ever had has been over 18 to close to 2,000 kids one year. That's a lot of kids.
That is a lot of kids.
And so we can't do that without these big businesses and companies. And that's why we turned it into a nonprofit 501(c), because we needed it to be that, and these guys could have tax write-offs, because some of these checks we get are very large checks, and we want them to be able to write that off, no matter if they're doing it for that cause or the other cause. At the end of the day, it's going to a organization that puts these gifts out for the right reasons.
Sure, and hey, if it benefits both parties, why not?
Right.
So, actually, you put one more question in my head, which you said that y'all have started working with Mighty Moms, and that if there are kids with other needs that might be just beyond just getting something on Christmas, y'all work on that as well. If given, the appropriate amount of donations, or if given the appropriate amount of help, any other ideas on how the Christmas Crusade could expand in the future?
Yeah, we expand it, and it has a lot to do with the monetary donations, what your account is. So it depends on what we have in there, but the more we have, the more we give. And that's what we've always said. If we have it to give, we're going to give it.
Sure.
So if we're able to give more than what we normally do, then we give more than what we normally do. These organizations, not just Mighty Moms, but we have a lot of church organizations in our parish that also help families. And it's important for us to stay connected, because if you and your wife and family decide y'all want to adopt a family, and you know that if we know that you're doing that, there's no need for us to take care of them. We can actually put forth something else. So it's important to have that communication amongst all these organizations and help each other. So, but that's the answer to your question. The more we receive, the more we give. And that's what we've done for years.
Okay. Well, to bring it all on home, if you want to reread the dates and the times real quick.
We can. And I want to remind, I know I talked this about your last podcast, but you see these deputies with these beards? These deputies have to pay $50 a month from October to January to grow their beard. And that money goes to Christmas Crusade, and it also actually helps other organizations, whatever we think the need is at that time. And so last year, the deputies just themselves collected a little over $3,000, and I think this year they're closer to $5,000. So these deputies do more than just sit in front of Walmart, go pick up toys. They also give monetary donations as well.
Gotcha.
So the dates to remember, starting Saturday, which is going to be the Saturday after Thanksgiving, will be the first day that you will see us at all three Walmart locations and Bass Pro collecting the monetary donations as well as new toys. The November the 29th through December the 3rd is when we'll start taking applications. It will continue December the 6th through December the 10th. These times are 8:30 a.m. to 12 p.m. It kicks up again at 1 p.m. to 3:30 p.m. each day, and that's at Woodside Drive, 29225 Woodside Drive in Walker, next to the landfill. The delivery date is December the 17th, and it's very important that you're home on that date. We tell them when they sign up, we have to have somebody home of age to receive these toys, and so that's very important. And remember, so Saturday, November the 27th, from 9 a.m. to 7 p.m. is the time we'll be at all 4 locations, which again is the 3 Walmart. You got one in Walker, one in Denham, one in Watson, and then Denham Springs Bass Pro. And then we have Sunday, November the 28th through is going to be 12:30 to 7:30, and then Thursday, December the 2nd, from 12:30 to 7:30 as well. Friday, December the 3rd, and Saturday, December the 4th, 9 a.m. to 7:30 p.m. Sunday, December the 5th. That's my anniversary, by the way. That's something else my wife and I celebrate during the Christmas Crusade. Their graduation is our anniversary every year. So it was very seldom that we get to go anywhere. But we enjoy what we do.
Sure.
And I'm sure we can slip out and have dinner somewhere.
There you
go. So anyway, it continues on. And you can get this online. Go to lpso.org, pull this up. And that way, instead of them having to hear me say everything, they can read it for themselves.
There you go.
Any questions, just go to the website or give us a call.
Okay. And the main phone number for you guys?
225-686-2241.
Great.
Do not call 911. That is emergency line only. Call the office number, and we'll put you in touch with the right people.
Got it. Well, sir, if you will reintroduce yourself real quick as we head on out here.
I am Sheriff Jason Ard. I am not Blake Shelton. I know people call me that when I grow a beard. I'm very flattered by that, but I thought I'd throw that in there since we were talking about it.
Fair enough. Yes, we did. I believe the ladies at Walgreens told you that this morning.
Yeah, they did.
So your most recent compliment. So again, we appreciate you joining us, sir, and thanks for taking the time. And please remember that this will be coming out Thursday, November 18th. Saturday, November 27th is when everything starts to really roll.
That's right.
So again, my name is McHugh David, publisher and editor of the news. Appreciate you guys out there joining us and watching, and we do hope that if you haven't given to the Christmas Crusade, you'll think about it in the future. Please remember those deputies will be at the 3 Walmart locations as well as Bass Pro. Please remember the news is on Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, Instagram, and YouTube. Once a week in print on Thursdays at $7 a month to get that in your mailbox. We're also online, www.livingstonparishnews.com. We hope you have a great day, a happy Thanksgiving, and a Merry Christmas, and we'll see you next time.